Just like the song said, we're going to the chapel and we're gonna enter into another loveless marriage. Let's get started. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Hello, my friends. Welcome to Thumb Together. My name is Andrew Fantasia. Today we're going to be talking about Succession Season 3, Episode 8, Chiantishire, together. As usual, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and give some love to that subscribe button as well, or else I will be dumped into a loveless marriage too. That's how it works. That's YouTube's new rule. They're more evil than you think. So Logan's ex-wife is getting married to a strange man with green pants who wants some more pull at Downing Street because everybody wants something in this world. And we are all flying over to Tuscany to partake in the wedding ceremonies that are huge and cold and heartless, just like everything else the Roys do. Now, the episode's title, Chiantishire, I think is just a playful little thing to signify that we are in Italy, where Chianti comes from, but we had Shire, which is a strictly United Kingdom suffix, because that's where Logan and his ex-wife, Caroline, are from. So we kind of merge those two worlds together, and we get Chiantishire. Also, fun little coincidence, Chianti is known throughout pop culture as being the drink that Dr. Hannibal Lecter has a particular fondness for. And who just so happened to play Dr. Hannibal Lecter in the 1986 feature film Manhunter? Brian Cox. Illuminati confirmed. So as usual, the Roy family get up to all kinds of shenanigans at this wedding. Shenanigans involving not wanting to talk to their mother, not wanting to talk to their father, not wanting to talk to their son, wanting to talk to their father, not wanting to talk to their father's son, etc., etc. Good old-fashioned family values, the way only the Roys know how to do it. Some particular standouts include Caroline's new husband, who is just inviting Logan to the wedding because he wants important people to be seen at his wedding, and he wants Logan to use his sway with the Parliament to do him a favor. Also, there's Greg, who has proved to be the king of idiots in this episode, because as we see, he actually has a good thing going with Comfrey. It looks like their date actually went really well. She is at the wedding with him. Even though she's still working, she's there with him. They have a scene together as a couple. It's sweet for about 5 seconds, and then Greg saunters over to Tom and Shiv, and they are laughing and chuckling and saying, wow, we can't believe Greg actually found some woman way out of his league. And then they tell him, well, you know, she's more of like a ladder romance or whatever they call it. And, you know, you just kind of use that to step your way up to other romances. And Greg, being the buffoon he is, takes this to heart and starts flirting, or considering to flirt at least, with a countess. And later on, he does actually try to flirt with her, while we see Comfrey has been established as sitting alone at a table about 40 feet away. This is a new low for Greg, and it's kind of upsetting. At the very least, though, this introduction of this Countess character gives us the greatest quote of the episode, and it comes from Siobhan, who is watching with Tom and Greg from afar as they consider this Countess and how pretty she is. And then all of a sudden, Roman saunters up to her, and we see Roman trying to put some moves on her, and Siobhan says, oh, poor woman. She thinks she met a fun guy at a wedding. That's about all the fun that's left to be had at this wedding, though, because as things progress, they get more and more sad and frightening. This episode gave us not one, but two big conversations that we feel these characters have been dancing around for almost the whole series. It's those kinds of conversations where you know they have to have them, and it might even help fix the problem if they do, but you also know that getting these characters to have that kind of conversation in any kind of civil way is really way harder than it sounds. The first of these conversations is Tom and Siobhan, who have decided to carry on with the plan of having a baby. Now, again, it's not because of any healthy, regular reason to want to have a baby. It stems from the earlier conversation Siobhan has with her mother, where her mother says, I wish I never had children. I couldn't handle them. You can't handle them, so don't even try. I should have just gotten dogs. The mom is a very broken person. We can see that in the scene. This is a sad woman talking about sad things, and Siobhan takes it to heart, rushes back to the hotel, kicks off her heels, and says, let's make a baby right now. Tom, of course, is happy to comply, but that's where things take an even darker turn, because they have a conversation while attempting dirty talk that stems back to what they talked about last season finale. Because where we left off in season 2, Tom and Shiv were not in a great place, matrimonially speaking. It looked like it was actually going to end, and I'm not sure if I remember, there might have been something that just slipped my mind, some sort of little whispered conversation of why they have put that conversation on hold and just continued to plow forward as a married couple. All of that notwithstanding, they have still not faced those demons head on until this moment when the dirty talk starts. And Siobhan's idea of dirty talk is straight up telling Tom, I'm too good for you, and you love me even though I don't love you. It's basically the cold truth. That's her version of talking sexy. And because he has flesh and blood, Tom takes it to heart, and the next day he's a little bit miffed and a little bit concerned about, just how true were those statements. And Siobhan, being the gaslighting queen that she and all the Roys are, says, it was just a joke. You're taking it too seriously. You're not being nice by taking it too seriously. Stop, get off my case. I totally love you. That's a thing, whatever. And then brings up the little postscript about freezing embryos so that should the marriage not work, at least there's a backup plan so she can have a baby. I'm pretty sure this episode we saw Siobhan at her most evil. She's usually been the most level-headed of the Roy siblings, but that has taken a quick downward spiral. And it's easy to see why. The second important conversation we get is between Kendall and Logan. They finally sit down with nobody else to bother them and try to hash out what's been happening between them. Not in any particularly civil way, but in a way that Kendall hopes will put an end to the feud. Clearly, the actions of his siblings at last week's birthday party have still haunted him and gotten to his core, and Kendall has had enough. So he calls Logan over for dinner and says, look, here's the deal. I want my buyout. I want this. I want that. And then boom, I'm gone. I'm a ghost. You never have to see me again. I won't even speak at your memorial. But he says it in a way that, again, is a conversation that has needed to happen between these two that never has, because it's either Logan is too busy or Kendall is too afraid, or both. But now, neither is the case. Kendall's brave enough. Logan's got nothing better to do. He's in Tuscany, wallowing. So Kendall says straight up, you're a bad person. You're kind of evil, and I can't be that. So I'm going to stop trying to be that. Give me my money. You can disinherit me from the rest of everything. Just let me go. And of course, Logan being Logan, he spits it right back in Kendall's face. The whole thing about worrying that his food might be poisoned, so calling his own grandson to try the food first, that's, again, the most evil I think we've ever seen Logan Roy, and that is saying something. Now, before Logan storms off and says there will be no bargain, he has this little comment where he says something along the lines of, I've seen things, I know things about the world that not many people do, and they are not good things. And that's why I do what I do. It's a very strange comment. It was almost Lovecraftian in a way. Like, hey, I've seen some things I can't unsee, and now my whole worldview is shaken because of it, and I can't be the person except the person that I am. I'm curious what was meant by this remark, and I'm even more curious to see if the show plans to address it, because it could be one of those things that's just left out in the air for you to grasp at, but nothing concrete will ever come of it. That's a very real possibility, especially for an HBO show. They like to write with some subtleties here. That's how they roll. This is an ABC, for God's sake. So either way, I'm okay whether they elaborate on this or not, but it makes me wonder just what he's talking about. And now I pose the question to all of you. What was Logan talking about? What are the things about the world Logan Roy has seen? What are these unfathomable horrors that Logan Roy is privy to? But wait, this was an extra long episode, at least by a couple minutes, because they packed in so much stuff, and I don't want this video to run as long as the episode itself did, so let me quickly go over the last few bullet points here. Connor proposes to Willa, and her answer means we know exactly what's going to happen here. Her answer is going to be yes with a but. She's finally going to say yes to get Connor off her case, but it's going to either come with a condition or it's going to be an unhappy marriage. Surprise! We've never had those before on this show. It doesn't look good. The fact that she has to think about it for so long does not bode well for the Connor-Willa romance. Second, things with the Gojo merger seem like they're going well. So well, in fact, that Roman decides to send a self-congratulatory dick pic to Jerry, and that ends up backfiring when he sends the aforementioned self-congratulatory dick pic instead to his father. And hilarity ensues for a minute, because now it looks like Jerry might end up getting used and or abused because she's being sexually harassed by Roman. Jerry is the victim here. She's asked him politely to stop. He has not stopped, and yet it looks like she's going to get in trouble because that's the way corporate America works. Finally, there's that ending. Now, the ending is enigmatic, to say the least. They sort of try to point you in one direction involving Kendall lying face down in that swimming pool, but I think we're being misled. And the only reason I think we're being misled is they showed us the promo for the finale, and nowhere in that promo does it look like there's any kind of funerary things going on. At least, that's what I thought at first. Then I watched that promo again, and I noticed how cleverly it was edited, because nowhere in the promo do we see Kendall Roy. But if you look more closely at that promo, they focus on the business aspect of Waystar, particularly with Gojo, with Alexander Skarsgård's character. They focus on him talking to Logan about the merger. But take a closer look at the quick flashes we see of the characters, particularly 3 of those flashes. One of them is an image of Logan looking stunned and bewildered about something, which is not a rare expression for Logan. The second is Tom on the phone looking like he's receiving a bit of shocking news. And the third is Tom with his arm around Siobhan in what looks like a comforting manner. Has Kendall reached a point where everything has gone wrong? Because it has, let's be real. But has he really reached the point where he sees no other option but to take his own life? I don't know. I hope not. I mean, that would be very tragic. I have no idea how the other characters would react to that, but it would definitely make for an interesting leap forward and an interesting transition into a 4th season. So I'm going to leave that, like the showrunners themselves, up in the air here and pose that question to you as well. Is Kendall alive or dead? It really could still go either way, but that is a very, very cleverly edited promo, HBO. I see what you did there. And I think it's too early to make any conjectures, but Kendall Roy is not in a safe place. But anyway, until next week, that has been Chiantishire. That has been Thumb Together. I've been Andrew Fantasia. You've been fantastic. I will see you all here next time. And until then, adios.